Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm gonna talk about my experience with British content consumption. I started to consume mostly content with British accent in my English, and I'm trying to consume as much as possible of this type of content so I can develop my own British accent. I am a Brazilian learner of English, and I want to talk how I found fascinating some aspects of the British culture. It's a very broad theme, and I may or may not be able to say everything that I want, but I will try to be clear here and to talk what I think. Well, in other sense, I think I can say that this video is created for answer the question, why are you learning the British accent? Well, you see, in the internet and the YouTube, you have a lot of English. Obviously, English is the most spoken language, at least the most foreign language is the language that most people learn. I don't know if English surpass, let's say, Chinese on number of speakers, but it's a fact that English is the language more important of our times. And other times too. In the past, it was not different, although recently English has taken a place that it has never been before. Well, why? So, as I was saying, we find a lot of English content in the YouTube and in the internet, but the majority of this content is American. The United States has conquered the internet in the sense they have a lot of political influence throughout the world, and it is that they have a very big population and very big amount of people who uses the language on the internet. So, regarding this aspect, why would one, as I, be willing to learn an accent, as the British one, that is not as spoken in the internet as is the American accent? And I will try to answer that. Firstly, I don't remember quite well how I thought to myself and when I thought to myself, oh, I think I want to learn the British accent, but it has happened not that time ago. I think it's rather recently that I've said to myself, I want to learn the British accent, the English with the British accent. It's complicated, this topic. Maybe I'm not expressing myself as I should, and this topic in specific is one that people normally are very passionate about it. They talk a lot about it, and they say things um, very in a very I don't have the words to say it. but in a very concrete way. They don't change the the mind of them with what they think they are right. It's like a very deep and intricate discussion. So people sometimes say, "Oh, you should not be trying to change your accent. You should be sticking with the accent that you already have." Some are even exaggerated in the point that they don't say you need to study at all. You just need to consume the language, even for grammar and the other aspects of it. Well, I'm not going dive into this discussion here, but I think this idea of completely despise, uh, completely um, contempt those who doesn't know, actually who doesn't follow this thinking, and those who want to learn an accent properly, people normally completely contempt about those. They they just say you're wrong. Sometimes people say to me that I'm being posh, or I'm being cringy, or any sort of this kind of words, and because I'm trying to learn the British variation of English. But I do not see as a way to change who I am in the sense more specific of the word. I do not see it as changing my identity because, firstly, I'm not in a country that speaks English naturally. I do not was born in, let's say, USA or even Great Britain, the UK, the Australia, India, or any other Canada or any other country that speaks English as an official language, or at least in generally people speaks English. I do not was born in any of those countries, and I'm learning English by myself. I have no teaching of any sort of kind. I'm just learning English through the internet all by myself. So I do not see to try to have an accent as a way of lose my identity. That being because I think I do not have an accent of my own naturally. My accent should be the Brazilian accent, but honestly, the Brazilian accent is not mainstream at all. The way that Brazilian speaks in English are not very well known. Usually, we'll have some stereotypes, and it is some accent that is there. Undoubtedly, the Brazilian accent exists, but I do not want to learn the AP pronunciation or the British or a British accent. I know there are different accents within the UK, and people sometimes get mad because someone says the British accent instead of specifically the accent that they're referring to. But I'm using British accent in a more broad context, and I'm talking more specifically about the RP and the MRP, or the Southern accent of UK. You get the idea. That's the accent that I'm looking for. But then I do not go to this accent and to I do not start to get into this accent just because, oh, I want to sound it in a specific way. It's mainly because I find it quite enjoyable. I really enjoyed the accent. I really enjoyed the sounds that exist within the accent, and I really enjoy it. So that's basically my reason to learn the British accent. And moreover, I think the British people and the British culture is quite amusing. I really enjoy the story, British stories and British history properly. Um, if you're, never mind. I was going to say something, but it will be unnecessary. So that's a very interesting point of it, in my opinion. The way that the accent sounds is very amusing, but it is very strange that if you want to use an accent, you almost are a culprit. You almost are forbidden to learn an accent. People say so many things about it. Oh, you should not be learning this accent. This accent is just spoken by around 3% of the population. You should not be looking towards it. Or even, you should not try to change who you are. Keep with your accent and your way of speaking. But in my opinion, people can change, and they can change intentionally. They can change the way they speak, and if they want to. If they want to sound more clear, if they just want to have an accent because they like it, the accent. And I've got many influences on my current accent, and I'm trying to expose myself as much as possible to the accent that I've referred to, the British RP MRP accent, or at least a very educated and polite accent, if you know what I mean. And I'm just trying to expose myself. I think that sometimes my speaking skills are not developed as much as I would want them to be. In language learning, sometimes you want to you think you are going to sound okay, or you're going to sound great, but you actually, when it comes to speaking, you do not sound that great as much as you thought you would. And in certain sense, when you speaking, sometimes you feel very confident and you enjoy that you are making progress, and sometimes you do not feel that confident at all. You think, oh, my speaking is bad, I cannot say what I want sometimes, and you keep those ideas in mind. And I'm more into the latter because I'm not being able to talk what I want to say properly. It's hard to change an accent, and it's hard to have this RP accent because it's very formalized. And it seems to me that some accents tend to develop into the more lazy way to say things. I take for an example the word tua, or something like that, tua, who it is saying that like that in the RP pronunciation, tua, but in the modern RP you have something like two instead of tua, and this is normal in the language. We have normally the tendency to go to the most efficient and the most easy way to say things, and it is quite it is quite interesting how this works. Well, to be honest, I I just want to say that, and I'm trying to find some ways to improve my speaking, my writing, my reading, and my listening. But mainly my writing and my speaking, because it is the most important skills for myself, and I I really think I want to improve them. So that was today's video. I haven't spoke as clear as I wished, but I think you guys understood me at some degree, and I see you all later. Bye.